Here we go.
And you are blaming, we don't even yet know the names of the 67 people who were killed, and you are blaming Democrats and DEI policies and air traffic control and seemingly the member of the U.S. military who was flying that Black Hawk helicopter. Don't you think you're getting ahead of the investigation right now?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think with the names of the people, you mean the names of the people that are on the plane, you think that's going to make a difference? They are a group of people that have lost their lives. If you want a list of the names, we can give you that. We'll be giving that very soon. We're in coordination with American Airlines. We're in coordination very strongly, obviously, with the military. But I think that's not a very smart question. I'm surprised coming from you.
One more.
So
Shifty shift.
that's new. So when you said we, you didn't really mean you. Is that your testimony?
Not unless you have a new definition for the word we.
Oh, okay. I always thought we included the person who pronounced the word.
Oh my God. Are you guys sick and tired of Democrats being stupid yet? It's insane. Welcome to the Ace Report. How we doing tonight? Guys, we have so much to talk about. This Kash awesome hearing, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr. I got highlights for you. It was wild today. These people are just losing their minds. We're going to go through that. Then I also, towards the end, we got to talk about what Trump is doing with BRICS. He just threw down the ultimate slam down on them. Man, things are changing fast with Trump in charge. And then we'll talk a little bit about this plane crash and poor Caitlin Collins. It's a really dumb question. Surprised it came from you. Troll in chief. I love it. Anyways, guys, it's good to be here. How y'all doing? I know it's a little late. You guys have been spoiled lately, but I've also been giving you extra videos, so hope you're okay with that. I think I've been pretty kind. Listen, like, subscribe. If you want to comment, you have to subscribe. Sorry. It's how I kick the trolls out. I keep this chat cleaned up. It works so much better that way, so hit the subscribe and then join the chat, please. I like to be the most interactive pundit on the internet, and I love doing it. I love having this chat. So speaking of that, let's talk to some people. Who's in tonight? Cassink, numero uno, toe cramp, dos. He called first, but he wasn't first. Wago Waco, what's up, buddy? Shogun. The Kash Patel hearing was entertaining. They all were entertaining, especially Kash and RFK, but Tulsi had some good stuff too. It's fact, she dropped some bombs. Kim Wiley, what's going on? Alan Agajanian, Danny, what's up, buddy? Or, sorry, not but I don't know. I'm guessing you, buddy, based on your name. I don't know. Girl, guy. Armand, what's up? BN Pro, Alan Krantz, 8th. Alan the 8th. Toe Cramp. WTF, man. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry about it. Donkey, Rum Dog, BB Vision, Preston Cox, what's going on? Old Finds, Vinman, Chad Yunkin, Agent Orange, Damn it, Sean, Just Mike, Stella Artois, Liquid Skittle, Scarpazza, Drew Savala, Linda Telly. Why would they have so many hearings in one day? I don't know. Probably said we couldn't watch them all. It's probably, I guarantee you it might have something to do with that. What's up, Yukon, Tom FP? Been waiting? I'm here, man. I wasn't going to let you down today. Phil Zill, Ficus, Bridget Lazada, AP, and I get everybody. Mark R. Brett Montgomery says the left is so worried about the past on the questions to Kash. And the right is wondering what he's going to do to help this country. Counterproductive for them to bring up J6, but they don't know it. They don't know it. That's the crazy thing. They have no idea how poor their brand is going for them. And if you guys watched my video from earlier today, the Democrat brand is at the all-time low. Everybody hates them right now. 1 out of 3 people is approving of them right now. That's insanely low. It's actually less. It's at 31%. 33% would be 1 of 3. So yeah, they don't even understand that they're just hurting themselves. It's the craziest thing. The craziest thing. Liquid Skittle, Matt M. When will SEC chairman get sworn in? He hasn't even been scheduled for his hearing yet, so we'll have to be watching on that. The one, what it do? RFK kicked Bernie in the nads. Oh yeah, he did. I got that clip. Don't worry. And Bissy Brands is in the house. One of my mods. Busy. Keep the chat clean for me, will you, bud? You're in charge, sir. You're in charge. All right. Well, we got to run. We got to get moving on this because I have a lot to show you guys. So let's start with Tulsi Gabbard just dropping bombs right out the gate in her introductory statement here. You guys are going to want to listen to this if you missed it. This is the kind of stuff, this is why they're scared of her, because she's not afraid of saying the truth. Listen to this.
The American people elected Donald Trump as their president not once but twice. And yet the FBI and intelligence agencies were politicized by his opponents to undermine his presidency and falsely portray him as a puppet of Putin. Title I of FISA was used illegally to obtain a warrant to spy on Trump campaign advisor Carter Page, using a Clinton campaign-funded false dossier as their so-called evidence. Biden campaign advisor Tony Blinken was the impetus for the 51 former senior intelligence officials' letter dismissing Hunter Biden's laptop as disinformation specifically to help Biden win the election.
Holy smokes, you guys hear that? She is, she's immediately going straight into Biden cheating in the election. This is her opening statement. It's just, no wonder they're all scared of her.
Former DNI James Clapper lied to this committee in 2013, denying the existence of programs that facilitated the mass collection of millions of Americans' phone and internet records, yet was never held accountable. Under John Brennan's leadership, the CIA abused its power to spy on Congress, to dodge oversight, lied about doing it until he was caught, and yet has never been held responsible. Under Biden, the FBI abused its power for political reasons to try to surveil Catholics who attend traditional Latin Mass, labeling them as quote-unquote radical traditionalist Catholics. Personally, just 24 hours after I criticized Kamala Harris and her nomination, I was placed on a secret domestic terror watch list called Quiet Skies. Sadly, there are more examples. The bottom line is this must end.
Boom. I mean, to come out the gate like that, it's they had to be just freaked out. Even some Republicans. You know, Tulsi is the one that they now believe is going to be the hardest to get through. Why? Because she's going to be controlling the intelligence. She's going to be filtering everything to Trump, and she's not afraid. Which is kind of wild to think about it, because she used to be a Democrat. But if we've seen anything from the RFK hearings yesterday and today, her hearings, it's that they are more sour on the former Democrats than anybody else. They are so angry and bitter and rude, and it's unbelievable. But the fact that she's not, this is your confirmation hearing. You're going there. You're supposed to be going and playing the game. Supposed to be buttering up these senators, and instead she just goes like a laser right to the point. Guys, we have issues. We're a mess. The intelligence agencies have been being abused to benefit a political party. I'm going to clean it up, and it's amazing. She looks great. She's composed. She's well spoken. Tulsi Gabbard's a gift. And they better get her through. Republicans, you better hear me. Algorithm, you better hear me. These Republicans, you better get her through. If you do not, we will be coming after you. In fact, all of these nominees must get through. But she goes on, and this is even wilder. She goes after Obama here. And Alan says, best defense is an offense. Go Tulsi. That's right. She's amazing. Just Mike, had a woman I hardly know at work ask me, how's it hanging this morning? What? Okay. Well, we'll deal with that one later. Tulsi is America first, even though she used to be a Democrat. So, but listen, this is some truth, right? She's about to drop. By the way, as I was watching these on YouTube today, I was really struck by the fact that one of them, while I was watching it, had 90,000 viewers concurrently. Do you understand what a big deal that is? These hearings are being watched by more people in history. The American people actually like watching this stuff now. I guarantee you, 8, 12, even 4 years ago during these hearings, maybe 5,000 people would have tuned in on each channel to watch this. It just was not front page news. That nobody cared. It went under the radar. And now the American people are watching because these are stars that are getting in there, but also because the American people want to be a part of their government now. It's incredible what we're seeing. I guarantee you, if you pulled all YouTube and the cable channels, everything, this would be the all-time most watched hearings ever. And the reason I'm saying that real quick is because you got to hear what she said and realize that if, say, 1 million people saw this, and then you add another million from, say, X watching this clip, and then all the other clips that'll come out later on YouTube, this could spread where maybe 20 to 50 million people hear this speech she's about to give, and she's going to drop some bombs. Get ready.
Senator, as someone who enlisted in the military specifically because of Al-Qaeda's terrorist attack on 9/11 and committing myself and my life to doing what I could to defeat these terrorists, it was shocking and a betrayal to me and every person who was killed on 9/11, their families and my brothers and sisters in uniform. When, as a member of Congress, I learned about President Obama's dual programs that he had begun really to overthrow the regime of Syria, and being willing to, through the CIA's Timber Sycamore program that has now been made public, of working with and arming and equipping Al-Qaeda in an effort to overthrow that regime, starting yet another regime change war.
Hold up. Do you hear that? She just admitted that Obama and all them were arming Al-Qaeda. I'm sorry, not Obama. Our nation was arming Al-Qaeda. And now she's about to go into the Obama stuff. And it's just, this is stuff most people don't want to hear. And I can see in the chat right there, Stella says, sometimes I question her loyalty. I wonder if she's a mole. Someone who's a mole isn't going to drop these truth bombs. I'm telling you right now, it's too risky. And also, I think the Trump team has double, triple, quadruple vetted every single one of these people. I don't think you can have a mole on the Trump team this time. But anyways, continue.
In the Middle East. DOD Train and Equip program, again, begun under President Obama, is widely been known, looked at, and studied, that ultimately resulted in over $500 million being used to train who they called moderate rebels, but were actually fighters working with and aligned with Al-Qaeda's affiliate on the ground in Syria, all to move forward with their regime change and not acknowledging what was obvious at the time and what has unfortunately borne true, which was that a regime change war in Syria, much like the regime change wars in Iraq, the toppling of Gaddafi and Mubarak, while these are all dictators, would likely result in the rise of Islamist extremists like Al-Qaeda taking power. I shed no tears for the fall of the Assad regime, but today we have an Islamist extremist who is now in charge of Syria, as I said, who danced on the streets to celebrate the 9/11 attack, who ruled over Idlib with an Islamist extremist governance, and who has already begun to persecute and kill and arrest religious minorities like Christians in Syria.
I understand.
Why that should be acceptable to anyone is beyond me.
It shouldn't
is
be.
certainly
And I
not in our...
understand.
Okay, so let's explain what just happened here. So, I saw somebody put in the chat real quick and then their comment disappeared, but they said, we already know this. No, you know this. You know this. Those of us who've been paying attention for years know it, okay? Yes, it's common knowledge in those of us who've been paying close attention. The average Joe doesn't know it though, and this is spreading. And for her to just flat out come in and say, guys, we funded all the wars. We have created this problem. She's telling this to the Senate. The Senate, who is mostly neocon, war hawkish. Yes, even on the Republican side. This is fearless. This is fearless. It's also why she might get in trouble. I already saw Lankford, who's such a fake conservative, the one who, he's the guy who created that horrible border bill that thank God we defeated, where we were going to let in 5,000 illegals a day legally stay in our country and then start enforcing the border. And it was the conservative border bill that Biden was going to pass and Trump defeated it. No, such nonsense. But that hack, he's out there saying, well, she didn't call Edward Snowden a traitor, and I have a real problem with that. They are looking for reasons not to confirm her, even on the Republican side. Why? Because they're war hawks. That's why Hegseth needed 50 votes and a tie, and Trump busted his ass, sorry, I said it, calling up the senators to get them to change their minds because a couple of them weren't going to vote for Hegseth. Trump worked behind the scenes. He definitely had to work on one in particular, Tom Tillis, to get him to vote for Hegseth so they could get the 50 and the tie. Tulsi might be even tougher. Hegseth wasn't in his hearing. He just handled the questions very deftly. He wasn't coming out with firebombs like this. Tulsi is basically telling the Senate, you guys and the previous administrations are responsible for the wars in the streets right now in the Middle East. This is fearless. It makes me really want her, but it's scary too, because when you come at them like that, I don't know. Trump's going to be having to pull some strings. But if nothing else, she's at least getting this out in the open. But that's fire, guys. What she just said is fire. She just, in 2.5 minutes, she took the story from us building up Al-Qaeda in the late 90s. She didn't quite go back to the 80s, but that's when it really started. But through the late 90s, up till through Obama, how basically we funded terrorism in the Middle East and we're the reason for it. That's basically what she just said. That's a big deal. And a lot of normies, that's what we call the people who don't really pay attention, are watching this and listening to this and seeing clips of this because they're interested. A lot of middle Democrats are watching this who are kind of towing the line. I saw people today who are Democrats who are so fed up about the RFK Jr stuff that they said, we will never vote Democrat again if he's not confirmed. This is exposing him. This is exposing him. And yes, I haven't shown a Democrat go nuts yet. I've been doing a lot of my videos lately. I wanted to show you what they're saying. And so Tulsi was like this the whole time, just calm, cool, collected, just throwing darts. She really was. It made it, it was very interesting hearing. It was less bombastic. It was a little less entertaining than the other two because the other two get a little wild. Maybe they were being a little bit calmer with her because she's a woman. I don't know. But anyways, we're going to get into the fun stuff in just a minute. Trust me, I got plenty of fun clips. But this is what was happening. And it was amazing to watch. Johnny Strayhorn says, the secret vote, that crap has got to stop. Yeah. Well, if the Republicans, because the Republicans are in charge of Congress, in the Senate, they have 53 to 47. If it's a secret vote, it's because the Republicans choose it. If it's a secret vote, I see only one of two reasons to have the vote secret. A, they want to get rid of her and they don't want anybody to know about it. Then that's probably the most likely reason. There's a second, smaller reason, and that reason is that they might not want to be seen who supports her. When they all want to vote for her, but a couple want to vote no, but and maybe even some Democrats want to vote yes. I highly doubt it, but it's possible, and they want to hide that. But like I said, that's a possibility, but it's a much lesser possibility. What was that? Alan says we need to call our senators to have a blackout vote, tell them we the people want to know they voted for. I agree. Yeah, and yeah, call your senator. It's not hard to find their stuff. Call and leave them a message. That does change things. Susan Collins says, feeling positive about Tulsi. That's good. Mike says, I don't think Tulsi will have a problem getting in because she's female. These people don't care, man. I'm telling you, Mike, this is not your old school Democratic Party. These people are out for blood. And the Republicans do not have, because she's a former Dem and because she's not a neocon, it's going to be hard to get all the Republicans to vote for. Just saying. Vince asks, if I had to choose between Kennedy or Tulsi, who do I choose? That's easy. That's Kennedy. Kennedy, I think, is uniquely qualified to handle the health situation in America. I think he's uniquely qualified. He's the most popular of all of Trump's picks, which tells me he'll get the most done because he's going to have approval the whole way through. People love him. They listen to him. He will get so much done, and it'll be domestic. And I don't know anybody who can do the job as well as he could right now at this point in time. I just think he's uniquely qualified for it. Tulsi is awesome, but I think there's probably a handful of other people who could do the intelligence just as well as she could. But it's really nice to have her on our side. For optics, if nothing else, because she was a former Democrat, you get people like who are classical liberal but voted for Trump, who it keeps them even more loyal to Trump, keeps them in MAGA longer. So there's a lot of good reasons Tulsi's still the best pick for this position, but we wouldn't lose much if we lost her. Let me put it that way, not in the job. Whereas if we lose Kennedy in the health job, it's a big deal. It's a really big loss. So, but I'm still hoping they both get through. Democratic parties like Enron and WorldCom combined. I love it. No, Kennedy's going to get in. It's already being announced he has the votes, Liquid. There's a lot of talk he's already got the votes. So I think he's getting in, and it won't be a problem. I actually think a couple of Democrats are going to vote for Kennedy, including Fetterman. Kennedy's actually the one I'm least worried about between him, Kash, and Tulsi. It would go Kennedy, I think, is definitely getting in. Kash is probably getting in because I think he'll get all the Republicans. Won't be that tough. And then Tulsi is going to squeak in maybe. I think it might be like a Hegseth vote, 50-50 with a tiebreaker. It's going to be really close. DEI doesn't apply to her? Well, I don't know. Since, well, yeah, you're right. She's a minority and a woman. What's up, Big JR? Okay, let's keep moving. I got so many things to go through tonight. All right. Here's a little exchange Kash had with White House. They kept going after him about this stupid, some music thing he did. But anyways, I want you to hear this just because of Kash's final response. Is really funny. Kash, I gotta say, RFK handled it with class. Tulsi handled hers with class and very confidently. Kash was a straight up baller in this. He was unbelievable how strong he was. It really was. And he just didn't take any crap. He kept going right back at them. And it was one of the most impressive hearings I've ever seen by a candidate, maybe the most impressive. So anyways, watch this.
Is that you, Kash Patel, reposting that at the top of that page?
Senator, I had nothing to do with the creation of that meme.
Is that you reposting it was my question.
And that's me at the top.
You said FBI agents were responsible for the violence on January 6th, and I quote you here, beyond a reasonable doubt. Is that what you said?
That's completely incorrect, and I appreciate the opportunity to address that.
I'll give you an opportunity in writing, but this is my time now.
Have at it.
An inspector attorney...
Have at it. He's just like, I don't know. I thought that was so funny. It's just like, I want to respond to that, and that's completely untrue. Just not mess around then. No, there's my time. I have at it. It's just the confidence in this man is unbelievable. And it just kept going like that. Here's Maisie Harone now. I'm so drunk, and I'm so not smart. This woman drives me nuts. I don't even understand how somebody this stupid can be a senator. I mean, there's a lot of stupid senators, don't get me wrong, but most of them are good at pretending they're not stupid. This woman cannot hide it. There is not much going on in this woman's brain. I don't know if it's because she's Hawaiian, and not that Hawaiians are stupid, but that some Hawaiians just beach bums and just got hit their head on the reef too much. I don't know what it is. But every time this woman talks, you lose IQ points. But anyways, you got to see it. You got to see it to believe it in case you've missed it.
Your answer, yes or no. Did you make money?
I don't have
This
those
is my third and
financial
last time I'm going to
disclosures
ask you
in front
that
of me.
question.
You have that information.
So you refuse to answer the question.
I answered
Answer that question. It's just this woman.
I answered
Here
1,300 pages.
You no answer, and yet you spread dangerous misinformation. Hear your answer, yes or no, to the question.
I'm going to replay that part because it's really short, but these people can't even respond in real ways. They don't have counter responses. They show up with their pre-planned talking points. They go after the person. When the person answers, I've seen it. It's driving me nuts. I've been watching a lot of these hearings the last couple of weeks. I see it over and over and over again. They throw out their talking point. They try to get the gotcha question. The person responds, and then they just say, "And you don't answer." Like, it is crazy. He says, I answered 1,300 questions. 1,300! You can't even answer. Just we gotta just watch it one more time, because it's like, it's one of those things you can barely believe it as you're watching it.
So you refuse to answer the question.
I answered 1,300 pages.
No answer, and yet you spread
You
dangerous
are
misinformation.
no answer. I'm just, how does anybody vote Democrat? I'm serious. Like, at this point, you have no more excuse. You were raised Democrat, fine. You really cared for the poor and thought the government should do stuff for them, fine. That was cute 12, 15 years ago. But now you've lived through Obama. Should have been a little wake-up call there, but I get it. He was charismatic. He spoke a good game. He said all the right things. Okay, fine. You stayed, and then Trump came in, and you weren't sure what to think, because he was abrasive. And even though he was doing a lot of good things that Democrats used to say they wanted to do, even though he really was more of a Clinton in how he ran the country, despite how he talked, even though which was like everybody's favorite Democrat president, but I get it. He mean tweeted. He's not what you wanted to see. You guys loved your Obama. Okay, fine. And then Jan 6 happened, and you bought the narrative because you still watch CNN and MSNBC. You think it's real. It's okay. I get it. That was okay for then. But then you lived through Biden. What the F is your excuse now? I'm being honest. What is your excuse? Every Democrat with a brain and a moral compass came over to MAGA. RFK Jr. was the best Democrat. MAGA. Tulsi Gabbard, one of the best Democrats. MAGA. We got them all. This is what you're left with. This, I don't even know what to call her. Like, nobody is this stupid in real life. I worked with restaurant servers who were dumb, but they were much smarter than this woman. This is your party. There's nothing left. You're a smoldering ruin of a city as a party. There's nothing left over there. There's no ideas. There's no leadership. There's certainly no talent. You have AOC making her money, and that's all she cares about, because she really doesn't have a movement behind her anymore. It's embarrassing. And if you're a Democrat, you have to be so embarrassed, it's unreal. There's just nothing there for you. But if you're still holding on, I don't feel sorry for you anymore. I used to understand. I grew up in California. Lots of my friends were Democrats. Not lots. A couple still are. But I used to get it. I used to understand how, like, I can't vote like you. I can't give up my principles to join your side. But I can kind of hear some of the things you're saying, and I can kind of hear your side. But it's not there anymore. There's nothing there. What's left? DEI? Let's hire somebody based on the color of their skin. You know what that's called? That's called racism. Mutilating children so they can never have kids again, just so you can post on Instagram that, virtue signal. Hey, my kid's trans. That's all you have left? You have all the wars now. It's all on you now. You used to be anti-war. You're not anymore. You used to be anti-pharma. You're not anymore. That's you guys. You own it all. So what the hell? Why the hell is anybody a Democrat anymore? There's nothing left over there. It's the most pathetic political party in history. You guys are so defeated. And the most disgusting, unreal, unforgivable part of it is that you're not even trying to change. You're just going back to it. It's insane. So if anybody has a good reason to still be Democrat, I'd love to know. But I'm sorry, I've been following politics for 25 years, very closely. And there's nothing there anymore. Literally nothing. Not one person can make an argument for me to vote Democrat anymore. Not one. Because Trump came in, he took all your gold. He took all your gold. And then he turned around and took a big old fat dump on you and left you with all that. And you know what the Democratic Party did? They took all the crap and they held it and they said, this is ours now, we love it. And they were like, we're the party of crap. And we got all your gold. And that's literally what the Democratic Party is now. It's insane. It's insane. Brett says, Senator Hirono, first off, looks like a man. She sounds like she's narrating Where's Waldo book in the 80s. Valley Girl. That's pretty true. Donkey says, hey man, at least you didn't ask if the island would tip over if everyone was on the same side. We could see that. Big JR says, what she just says, one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. No point in rambling in a coherent response, even close to anything that could be considered rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, but God mercy on your soul. Thanks, JR. I hope that it wasn't directed at me. Mike Mishler says, I was raised with a mom and dad full-blown Democrats. My brother and I are full-blown conservatives. Wow. How's that happen? She's wasted from the luau. I believe it. Trader Grows, confirmation hearings didn't vet the qualification of nominees, instead confirmed Democrats 7 average IQ of 85. It's 100%. These hearings are hurting them way more than they're hurting anything else. I completely agree. Back and forth. Well, we got more to go. We got more to go, Johnny. Don't worry. Yeah, so anyways, okay, let's keep going because there's more. There's so much more. All right. Here we have an excellent exchange with Ted Cruz and Kash, just flat out telling the world that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are the ones in, well, just watch.
What were you doing on that day?
On that day specifically, responding to preparing to mobilize and deploy the National Guard once we got the lawful request from the local governing authority, which was the mayor of D.C. and the Speaker of the House.
Now, how many days in advance were you working to prepare the Department of Defense to help secure the Capitol on January 6th?
Days in advance, Senator. We were in the Oval Office on an unrelated national security matter with the president.
You hear that? They were prepared for January 6th days in advance. This is bombshell stuff that just completely destroys the J6 narrative. And Ted Cruz is setting him up for it. He's teeing it up so Kash can knock it out of the park.
The United States, the Secretary of Defense, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and myself, and the President authorized up to 20,000 plus National Guardsmen and women to secure any security measures necessary related to the Capitol. So we were moving to the fullest extent of the law before the requisite request came from a local governing authority days ahead of time.
Moving before the local government. That is a huge statement. It goes against everything the Democrats have accused Trump on this J6 thing. And this will not be spoken of. They will ignore this. Every Democrat talking head will ignore it. It will be just over and over again. Just they will mention how crazy he is and QAnon, and they'll say all this stuff about Kash. Meanwhile, ignoring that he was there with Trump before J6, and they were plotting to try and stop major riots that they were expecting and to keep the people in control. They knew MAGA was mad. They knew it. And listen, I don't even think J6 was an insurrection. That's not what I'm trying to get to. But the point was, people still went into the Capitol, whether it was FBI-led or whatever. It doesn't matter. It happened. And it all could have been avoided if they'd listened to Trump, Kash, and the team who were prepared for it. But they didn't. And now the world is hearing this.
And while you were Chief of Staff at DOD, how many times did DOD approach Capitol Police and ask if they needed National Guard assistance?
I believe those letters are well documented, numerous instances, and numerous of those instances, those requests were shut down.
Now, am I correct that the Capitol Sergeant at Arms said assistance was unnecessary?
That's correct, Senator.
Who did the Sergeant at Arms report to?
The Speaker of the House.
That would have been Nancy Pelosi at the time. Is that correct?
Name
Yes,
drop.
And would that also be Chuck Schumer, then the Senate Majority Leader?
The Sergeant at Arms, yes, Senator, reports up there.
Boom.
Did Mayor Bowser, the Democrat elected mayor in D.C., either request or allow National Guard assistance?
She put in writing on the days leading up to January 6th a declination for National Guard additional support. And that letter is available publicly to the world.
In writing, declined National Guard Mayor Bowser. This is huge. People haven't seen this before. Most people haven't heard this before. I guarantee you there are thousands of Democrats who believe J6 was the worst thing ever happened since Pearl Harbor. They're listening to this now. They're hearing this man with lots of confidence and all the receipts breaking it down. This is huge.
And just to speak English for folks at home, a declination meant she said no, don't send National Guard. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a simple question, because from the questioning from my Democrat colleagues, they might think otherwise. Do you condemn violence against law enforcement?
All of it.
You know, every time Ted Cruz pisses me off, or every time he does something that I don't like, and I start getting tiffed at him, I start being like, Ted Cruz, I just wish we had a better conservative. He does something like this and totally redeems himself. I mean, this is just awesome, the way he set this up and got this out there. Kash knocked it out of the park, and he's like this the entire time. This has got to be making the Democrats tremble. They want these hearings. The Democrats want these. They want them to these hearings so that they can get their punches in. They're trying to tear down the Trump nominees, and yet this is nobody can listen to this and actually think it's not good unless your brain is melted, unless you got some Corona on the brain. No answer. But it's just wild. But here's another great clip real quick. Danny says, I haven't heard this and it hurts my heart. I only heard rumors, he said, she said, not official receipts. About J6? Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, when the Germans... You got it, Brett. Alan says, the deep state with top Democrats, CIA, FBI, or DOJ involved with J... I mean, I believe it. Absolutely, I do. Leading question. That's right, Thomas. Oh, that was a Billy Madison quote, JR. See, listen, I read this chat so fast that unless I really, really know a quote well, I've seen Billy Madison probably 4 times. I love it. But I don't know the quotes that well, so I missed that one. I only know the pee-pee pants one. You ain't cool if you don't piss your pants. Anyways. Ted Cruz, thank you. All right, let's go to this next one. Kash, man, I'm so impressed with him. You watch how he just smacks down, throws a hammer down on why he is perfect for this position.
Senator, this may be one of the scenarios that most uniquely qualifies me to take command at the FBI. Having been the victim of government overreach and a weaponized system of justice and law enforcement, I know what it feels like to have the full weight of the United States government barreling down on you. And as the Biden Inspector General determined, those activities by the FBI and DOJ were wholly improper and not predicated upon law and facts. I will ensure, if confirmed, that no American is subjected to that kind of torment, to that kind of cost, financially and personally. And most importantly, I will make sure that no American is subjected to death threats like I was.
Wow, hold on. Just what a powerful statement. I want to lead the FBI because they did it to me. And not just they came after me, but then he adds, even Biden's Inspector General said they went too far on me. And that's why I want this job. Just a powerful statement. One of those statements that just kind of makes you go, ugh. If you're a Republican, you're like, dang, nice. If you're a Democrat, you're thinking, oh my God, this guy, this is a big threat. But again, just the confidence, the manner in which he holds himself, the conviction. Kash Patel, if you didn't like him before today or you were unsure, this really has got to be just the seeing him in action. just proof that he's going to be amazing.
And subjected to moving their residences like I was because of government overreach, because of leaks of information about my personal status. If confirmed as FBI director, Mr. Chairman, you have my commitment that no one in this country will feel that pain.
Senator Durbin.
Folks,
I'm sorry. I forgot that was a Alex Jones clip. I didn't mean to get into Alex right there, but anyways, just a powerful opening statement. Guys, listen, I got more. We're going to go through these. I picked out the ones I thought were the most useful for tonight. I see some people saying, bring up this clip, bring up. I'm not going to get to all of them because there was too much. We're talking about 3 hearings that were each around 4 hours long or more. So there's only so much I can show. I'll do my best. I'm doing my best to show some of the best stuff. But it's powerful, and I just think it's so important to show this because I don't know who else will show all these. And so I'm making sure I do this. But here we're going to get to some stuff on Epstein. And let me catch up on some comments, and then we're going to go on that. What's up, ESK? How's it going? Strayhorn said, I like the way Kash said, take command at the FBI. It's more in your face than direct. I know, I love it. Brett says, I couldn't believe he said the actual statements direct to him. I almost fell off the floor. What's up, Cindy? Trader says, I recall there's a video of Nancy being recorded in an SUV admitting riot breach was her fault. She didn't know she was being recorded. Yes, with her daughter. She was hanging out with her daughter. So, all right, this is a big one. You guys ready? He's going to get into Epstein. This is going to be pretty nuts. So be ready. Like, share, subscribe if you're watching, enjoying this as I break down today's massive hearings. I got 2 minutes. Wait, what? You can't tell. This is my show, Thomas. It's my show.
Questions, and it has led me to one thing. Why are the Democrats so afraid of you?
I don't know, Senator. You'd have to ask them.
Well, I tell you what I think. And listen.
Ooh, okay. What a setup. Hey, Kash, why are the Democrats so afraid of you? Ask them. Let me tell you what I think. I like Marsha Blackburn. She's not perfect, as we're going to see in a minute here, but she's strong, and this is good stuff.
Listening to their questions and your responses, which we appreciate. They know that you're going to go in and you're going to clean up that political cabal that has been over there for years. You are going to reposition the FBI to its core mission. You stated that earlier in this hearing, and there will be no more political persecutions and no more 2 tiers of justice. And they have liked having 2 tiers of justice. They have enjoyed it, and it has helped them. They think in their political mission, they've enjoyed targeting Catholics.
You guys, just hear what she's saying for a second here. They've had a 2-tier justice system. They love it. They benefit from it. This is a new Republican Party, a very new Republican Party. Republicans never dared to say these things in public before. They were playing the game. They were scared of the Democrats. They were scared of breaking the status quo. This is proof that Trump has magnified the party. It's no longer a uniparty. There's still some Republican holdovers, but more and more they're coming over to the other side because they know they cannot stay in that uniparty. They cannot stay. The fact that she's willing to call out the Democrats in this directly is very strong. And it's, well, hold on.
They've enjoyed targeting parents, but the American people have said they want no more of that. And our colleagues know you're going to clean it up. I want to talk to you about the Epstein case. I have worked on this for years, trying to get those records of who flew on Epstein's plane and who helped him build this international human trafficking, sex trafficking ring. Now, earlier I urged then Chairman Durbin to subpoena those records, and I ended up being blocked by Senator Durbin and Christopher Wray. They
Boom, hold up real quick. That is news. She just said she tried to subpoena the Epstein records, and Dick Durbin, Democrat, He's the, I think he's the vice chair in this hearing, either this hearing or the Tulsi hearing. He's in one of them. I think it's this hearing. Vice chair for the Democrats in the hearing blocked her from getting the Epstein stuff, and Chris Wray, the former FBI director, blocked her. People are going to hear this and their minds will be blown because they thought that Democrats are the good guys. Democrats would never do that. They're hiding the Epstein files because Trump doesn't want them released. That's the nonsense these people believe. And yet, we're getting the real story now.
On this, and I know that breaking up these trafficking rings is important to President Trump. So will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past and how we are going to...
Oh, snap. Child sex trafficking has no place here. I will do everything to break up these rings, and I'll bring out everything from the past so all is known. We're going to get the Epstein list, peeps. We're going to get the Epstein list, and we're going to get everything they're allowed to release on Madame, what's her face? I can't even think of her face right now. I'm glad for that. I haven't thought of her in a while. But his chick that set everything up. We're going to get it all. We're going to get it all. Everything they can that's probably not in current for withheld has to be kept under wraps for trials. So good things are coming. And you better believe that as Kash dropped this bomb, there was a lot of wet pants on the Democrat side. A lot of trickle peepees going down those legs. A lot of it. And maybe a couple Republicans too. Who knows? I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, but definitely on the Democrat side. And I love that she threw in there, this is really important to President Trump. Because there are people, and this is one of the things that the Epstein list not being released is allowed to stay as a pernicious rumor. There are people who believe still that Trump was on those Epstein planes, even though there's literally so much circumstantial evidence that proves he is not. There is no evidence at all linking him to it. There's a little circumstantial evidence linking him to Epstein, but there's so much more that proves he has nothing to do with it. But they, it's just like them to ignore everything out there and focus on the one little nugget they got. That's what Democrats do because it's all they have. It's all they have. You tell a partial truth and you try to blow it up into something. That's what Democrats been doing forever, and that's literally all they have now. So they're still playing that game. And yet Blackburn just came out and said, this is one of Trump's most important things. Are you going to deal with it? And Kash, you watch him, he rose in his seat a little bit. He leaned forward. This is one of the most important things to the Trump administration. They are going to mess up all these sex trafficking rings. They're going to end it. They're going to put an end to it. It's big things are happening. And this is one of the reasons they don't want Kash Patel in, because that is one of their big money makers. It's one of the ways they trade currency. It's in sex trafficking. You don't even need to look any further than the fact that under Biden's watch, 300,000 children went missing along the border. I mean, it's pretty obvious. You don't even have to know. In fact, it came up in the Kennedy hearing because for some weird reason Kennedy's under something with the border that has to do with that. And he was like, oh, we're going to find those children. It's a main priority. And they flat out said they're sex trafficked. So if that doesn't break your heart and make you just hate Democrats as a party forever, that they allowed 0.3 million, a third of a million children in 4 years to be trafficked from the border. I mean, again, if you're still voting Democrat, what is wrong with you? You have issues. Oh yeah, Ghislaine, Madame Ghislaine Maxwell. Cleanser cooked. They're only part of it. Nick Jeff says, what about Atkins for SEC? He hasn't even had a hearing yet, so he hasn't been confirmed. It hasn't been confirmed. Liquid says there are going to be some. I think they'll get a lot of hate. Some Republicans, probably. Cash reminds me of the guy on Parks and Rec who had swagger in a ball. Tom. Parks and Rec is one of my favorites. He does kind of act like Tom, except Tom with like real swagger, not fake swagger. Treat yourself. Stella says Epstein's job is to take pics with all powerful people and make it look like association. Remember, Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. Yes, I know that that story very well. I've gone over it many times over here. Adam Schiff, one of the worst human beings ever. I'll give you that. Jacob, you give me 10 more minutes? Is that my hearing time? I love it. I love it. Sorry, Michael, not talking stocks tonight. If you guys want a stock video, join the membership, $3. I did all stocks and crypto in the members live last night. Talked all about it for an hour. So if you guys want that, go to the members live for tomorrow from yesterday night. So tonight we're talking politics. Okay, next one. All right, so now we're on to RFK. They're grilling him about vaccines. They just cannot stop grilling him on this, even though he's given the same answer 100 times. They've asked the same question 100 times. But Bill Cassidy, who's very disappointing as a Republican, he is grilling RFK on vaccines, and he's known to be probably the biggest skeptic on the Republican side about RFK because he's a former doctor. This guy is big pharma for days. He was saying all this stuff, and then Rand Paul comes up with a rebuttal and just blasts all the other Republicans, and it's glorious, and the Democrats too, but he's really talking to the Republicans because he knows there's no point in talking to Democrats. Listen to this exchange. It's powerful.
The discussion over vaccines is so oversimplified and dumbed down that we never really get to real truths, and it's why people up here are so separated from real people at home. So we talk about hepatitis B. It's a terrible disease. It could lead to liver failure, as the chairman said. But the reason you have distrust from people at home, why they don't believe anything you say, they don't believe government at all, is you're telling my kid to take a hepatitis B vaccine when he's 1 day old. You get it through drug use and sexually transmitted. That's how you get hepatitis B. But you're
real quick. I'm so glad he brought this up. The Hep B vaccine is one of the biggest frauds there is. It's just so nonsense. Bill Cassidy is going to give the reason for it in a minute, but Rand Paul is absolutely right. You get it on the first day of birth, a vaccine in a newborn baby. Like what the hell are you thinking? And on top of that, it's almost impossible to get. Very few people get it. It's not airborne. It's the craziest thing, and it just shows you how nonsense our childhood schedule is right now. But it is what it is. But they're going after him, and he just brings this up, and it's the perfect way to get into it because nobody can really contend this. Although Cassidy's going to try in a second.
You're telling me my kid has to take it at 1 day old. You're not. That's not science. And so every person with a bit of common sense, even people who don't resist vaccines. I vaccinated all my kids. I believe vaccines are one of the modern miracles beyond all pale. The Speckled Monster is a great book about the introduction of the smallpox vaccine in 1720 into our country. All miracles. But I'm not a one-size-fits-all. It's not all or nothing. I chose to wait on my hepatitis B vaccine, and we did it when they went to school. Does that make me an awful person? Does that make me an anti-vaxxer because I questioned the government dictate of whether I do it? And I'm not speaking for anybody else. I'm only speaking for myself. But for goodness sakes, let's have an honest debate about these things. The COVID vaccine. If you ask me my opinion, the reporters run up and down the hall and they say, you still anti-vaccine? No, I'm pro-vaccine. But on the COVID vaccine, and on the COVID illness, there was a 1,000-fold or more difference between the elderly and children. If you don't acknowledge that, you're committing malpractice. You're showing your ignorance. If you say a 6-month-old must be mandated to get it, the science is not there. So all this blather about the science says this and the science says that, no, it doesn't. The science actually shows that no healthy child in America died from COVID. Look it up. No healthy child died from COVID. And so the thing is that it's 1,000-fold greater. So if you ask me my advice as a physician, if you were 65 or older or overweight and some other conditions, I would have said, hell yes, I'd take the COVID vaccine. The risks of the disease were real and much greater than the vaccine. But if you ask me, should my healthy 6-month-old get it? See, these are the nuances you're unwilling to talk about because there's such a belief in submission. Submit to the government. Do what you're told. There is no discussion. There ought to be a debate. You're not going to let him have the debate because you're just going to criticize and say, it is this, and admit to it, or we're not going to appoint you. But it's more complicated than that. And this is why people distrust government, because you're unwilling to have these conversations. And go home. Ask your Democrat young mothers, your Republican young mothers, if they're vaccinating their kid for hepatitis B, and they're like, well, do I have to do it on day one? It's this precious little baby. Is there science to say you shouldn't do it? Probably not, but it's my kid. You know, it's like, there isn't clear-cut science saying not to. But on autism, there's no good science of anything to show what causes autism. We don't know. It's a profound disease. I know many moms here and dads who have kids with autism. I know them personally. I've met their kids. But the thing is they saw their kids developing completely normal, maybe speaking 100 words go to no words at about 15 months of age. Now, there isn't proof. There isn't proof that the vaccines cause it. That's true. There isn't proof that it causes it. But we don't know what causes it yet, so shouldn't we be at least open-minded? We take 72 vaccines. Could it be? I don't know. But we shouldn't just close the door and say we're no longer, because we believe so much in submission, we're not going to have an open mind to study these things. And so it's sort of this crazy notion. Schizophrenia, I would put in the same notion. You have a kid who's completely normal to 18 or 19.
It's a little longer than I remembered, but listen, powerful stuff. I mean, and Rand Paul's a doctor. It was a doctor for, I don't know, a few decades. Just brilliant man, libertarianish. Just love the guy. He's great. And this was a powerful statement. And there, he's right. It's all or nothing with this subject, and it's insane, and it's got to stop. But this is all they have against Kennedy. And here's the deal: because Big Pharma is so powerful and the lobby is so powerful, they actually, it might be enough to keep him out. No, I don't think it will be. I think they're going to get him through. But this, it just shows you how. And I'm so glad he did this, because again, Kennedy's the one that's the most watched. He's the most popular. Most people are watching this hearing out of all of them. That means millions of people are hearing this. And actually hearing a real argument about the nuances of this whole debate. And it was wonderful. And I was so proud and excited that Rand Paul did this, because before this happened, it was going back and forth with Kennedy. They won't let him speak. They won't let him speak, Kennedy. They cut him off over and over again. And here's one of the reasons why. So I told you Blackburn, one of the reasons she's not so great, well, in the big pharma area, this is it. She took $316,000 from big pharma last year. Cassidy, who is the guy who Rand Paul was just going after, $290,000. Then there's Barrasso, Tillis, Ted Cruz. Cruzy? Now, I don't think Cruz is going to have any trouble voting for Kennedy, but it's still surprising. Crapo, Scott, Marshall, Rick Scott, just, interesting stuff. Now, this doesn't mean all of them are bought and paid for. There's other reasons. Sometimes the pharma pays. Sometimes they just pay you because they're like, we might need to keep good graces. Okay, we might need to keep some good graces even if our guy doesn't win. Trust me, there's way more Democrats on the big pharma side than Republicans. But it's still something to look out for. And why did these at the top get so much? That's the real question. These ones sucks, weird, but whatever. I'm not worried about which way Cruz, Scott, Crapo, which way they're voting. But Tillis, Cassidy, Blackburn, that's where it could get interesting. I don't even know Barrasso, but he's Wyoming, so I'm pretty sure he'll vote red on everything, no problem. But still, this is the kind of stuff that just, it's the reason we can't trust him, But I'm a fan of Ron Paul as well. Like, subscribe, share. Thank you, Mark, for reminding me. We're only at 76 likes. Come on, guys. We can do better than that. If you're watching, just hit that like real quick. Let's get it over 100. And please share on X or Facebook and subscribe if you're not subscribed. And get in the chat. We got more to chat about, especially because Bernie's coming up. We got Big Bernie here. Bernie has something to say to you all. So let's do what Bernie's going to do with RFK Jr.
So let me ask Mr. Kennedy again. If we want to make America healthy, will you assure the American people that you will fight to do what every other major country on earth does, guarantee health care to every single American?
I'm going to make America healthier than other countries in the world right now.
Will you guarantee do what every other major country does? That's a simple question.
And by the way, Bernie, the problem of corruption is not just in the federal agencies, it's in Congress too. Almost all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of...
What? I don't get money from Big Pharma. What are you talking about? What about the onesies? Hey, let's talk about the onesies again. Oh my God. What did you just say?
Dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, no,
and protecting their interests.
Oh, I thought that would come. No. I ran for president like you. I got millions and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
In 2020, you were the single largest
because I had
receiver of pharmaceutical money.
Oh, snap. In 2020, Bernie, you were the largest receiver of pharmaceutical funds. Look at his face. No, we can't talk about this. What about the onesies? Guys, when I was saying earlier on my rant about how do you vote Democrat, this is the reason some people will still tell you, oh, we love Bernie. This is their current Lord and Savior on the Democratic side. And he's a total loser. Total loser. Look at this man freaking out as RFK goes after him. It's just so great to watch.
From workers all over this country. Workers, not a nickel from corporate
Bernie,
tax.
you were the single largest acceptor of pharmaceutical dollars.
No, from workers in
1.5 million.
Yeah, out of 200 million. All right, but you have not answered. Last question.
Hear the crowd laughing?
Mr. Chairman, we're 3 minutes
over. Ask you a question.
How do we make America healthy if you don't guarantee health care to all people?
We're literally 3 minutes over here now.
Well,
how long does it keep going? At some time, you're just battering the witness, Bernie.
Not battering the witness.
Yes, you are.
Folks, I'm not
Wait, hold on. Let's talk about Bernie real quick. Just when Kennedy is saying it, he is gleeful. He is laughing. Here comes a smile. And right here, look at the joy. I got you, Bernie. I got you, you little loser. You little runt. Bernie didn't know what to do. No, no, you got it all wrong. I'm a man of the people. The people love me. I'm a man of the people. I have never seen Bernie Sanders as flustered as he was there, and RFK just knew it. He was so giddy. 1.5 million, Bernie. You took it. Yes, you did. That's so funny. I tell you, these hearings, man. Anybody who tells you politics aren't fun, they don't know what they're talking about. Politics is the most fun thing. I'm sorry, it's high drama. The stakes matter. I mean, it's like sports but matter. It's the absolute best. And yeah, you lose a lot, but when you win, there's nothing better. And we're beginning a winning streak since Trump got in. That's gonna be lasting quite a while, and these hearings just continue to prove it. All right, I got more from RFK because this is, like I told you, this is the most unhinged hearing. This is where the Democrats got the craziest. Check this one out.
You were on a show on February 26, 2021, an interview with Dr. Judy Mikovits, where you said the following, and I quote, "We should not be giving Black people the same vaccine schedule that's given to whites because their immune system is better than ours." Can you please explain what you meant?
There's a series of studies, I think most of them by Poland, that show that to particular antigens that Blacks have a much stronger reaction. There's differences in reaction to different products by different races.
Real quick. She gives him this total layup, total beatdown question. I gotcha question. That's what I'm looking for. And he handles it with grace and truth and honesty because it's real. He has science on his side. He has studies on his side. and she doesn't know what to do. So this is what she does.
So I have 17 seconds left. Let me just ask you then. So what different vaccine schedule would you say I should have received? What different vaccine?
Hey, you get it? Cause I'm black. Hey, Democrats, watch me. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get them because I'm on your side, and this is what we do. But guess what? I'm black. It's the big joke. Guess what? I got him. I got him because he didn't know I was black when I asked this question, guys. He didn't know. He didn't know I'm black. But I'm black, and now I set him up, and now I get to say, well, which one should I take? You big racist.
Vaccine schedule should I have received?
I mean, the pollen article suggests that blacks need fewer antigens.
This is so dangerous.
You get the same measles vaccine.
Mr. Kennedy, with all due respect, that is so dangerous. Your voice would be a voice that parents would listen to. That is so dangerous. I will be voting against your nomination because your view.
That is so dangerous. What, the truth is dangerous? No, the truth sets you free, people. That's how it works. The science is dangerous. You know what's not dangerous? Not listening to the science and probably hurting somebody who should have listened to the science. If the science says, miss with your color, you shouldn't take this vaccine, and you take it, that's what's dangerous. This is so dangerous. What should I take, sir? These people, they're either the stupidest people in the world or the most horrible people in the world. And honestly, it's probably a mix of the two. But again, this is just, this is like an up-and-comer. She's young. She thought she had him, but no.
Views are dangerous to our state and to our country.
I mean, do you think science is dangerous, Senator? This is published, peer-reviewed studies.
Boom. You think science is dangerous, Senator? This is published, peer-reviewed studies. He had it, and I love that he didn't back down. I love it. He could have just sat there and took it and been like, well, whatever. But nope, he did it. She looks like a DEI hire. Well, that's a dangerous place you're going there, Brett. Where's Kurt Lazarus going to be? I love it. Cindy Lou says, if you noticed before this exchange, RFK said Bernie before he started. I didn't notice it. That's awesome. Mike Mishler said, I can't stand McConnell, Graham, Crenshaw. Those guys disgust me as a Republican. Oh, I agree with you. Absolutely. They're terrible, all of them. Bernie has the pose and demeanor of an orangutan. Candace says, when he got caught and gave it back, the Dems probably took it, made it look like it's coming from workers. Oh, yeah. They funnel their money all the time. You guys heard of Act Blue? That's what it is. So, anyways, a couple more because it keeps going.
For people to believe.
Here's Cassidy laying into him. This is the Republican we got to worry about. So if RFK is not going to get through, it's going to be because Cassidy here convinces a couple other dumb Republicans not to vote for him.
There's 1.25 million kids studied, and there's no autism associated with measles. How do you tell me? You see what my question is in there.
I'm going to be an advocate for strong science. You show me those scientific studies, and you and I can meet about it. And there are other studies as well, and I'd love to show those to you. There's a study that came out last week of 47,000 9-year-olds in the Medicaid system in Florida. I think a Louisiana scientist called Mawson that shows the opposite. So there are other studies out there. I just want to follow the science. And I will do, if the science says and I am wrong about what I've said in the past, as I said, I will publicly apologize. The Institute of Medicine has said repeatedly in 2013, 2017, when they investigated this, has asked CDC to do certain studies, animal studies, bench studies, observational studies, studies of the vaccine safety data link. CDC has not done that. Oh, I want them to do that. Why don't we know what's causing this epidemic? Why hasn't the CDC been looking at other hypotheses?
So, hey, Bill. Hey, Mr. Cassidy, you're a Republican. You're supposed to be on Trump's side. Fine, you have issues with the vaccine stuff. You actually believe all the nonsense. How do you argue with that? How do you argue with what he just said? Let's see the science. How do you argue with that? Let's do it. Senator, if you're wrong, I'll admit I was wrong. You know, it's like, I can't do Bobby's voice. Who can? But if he's wrong, he's like, I'll admit it. Just show it to me. Let's do this. Let's do it together. How can you be upset with that? How can you not vote this man in with that intellectual honesty? His wife right here, Cheryl Hines, gave up her career in Hollywood because she's now associated with the guy in Trump's administration. She's hated. She had a fairly good acting career. He gave up his love. He's a Kennedy. He was adored by Democrats in Hollywood and everything. He gave it up because he actually believes in this stuff. He's a true believer. How can you be mad at that, Mr. Cassidy? How? Oh, wait. Hold on. I know how. Oh, there it is. There. That's how. That's how. Hey, Bill Cassidy, we got it. We know. That's the only reason. Because what he just gave is a perfect answer. He's a perfect answer. So, listen, you better vote for this man, or we're coming for you, because it's not acceptable. Not acceptable. All right, you guys wonder how it went today? This tells me, I think RFK's already got the votes. I told you he's my number one going to get through. Here's about Kash. This is just good stuff. Mike Lee on Kash Patel. And overall, I believe the Republicans feel this way about RFK and Tulsi for the most part, too.
Kash Patel knocked it out of the park. I've been in the Senate for 14 years, on the Judiciary Committee the entire time. I don't think I've ever seen a nominee facing so many headwinds perform so masterfully, handle himself so flawlessly as Kash Patel did today. Look, they threw everything at him they had, and every single time he proved up to the task. Here's the thing, Laura, there's so much pearl clutching going on here. These are the same people who looked the other way for the last 4 years as a campaign of politically motivated lawfare has been underway, wreaking havoc on the American constitutional form of government. Not a peep out of them, not a worry in the world about the political weaponization of the FBI. Now you've got somebody coming in promising to clean it up, and they hate him for it. They're irate about the fact that somebody's going to be doing that. They're the ones now panicked about lawfare when Kash Patel all along has said it's wrong, he's not going to engage in it, and they don't want to take yes for an answer. Kash Patel knocked it out of the park. I've been in the Senate.
That's a big deal coming from Mike Lee. Let me tell you why. Mike Lee was next in line. If Trump turned away from Kash, the next pick was Mike Lee. He could have had this. It could have been his. Republicans were coming up to Trump saying, put Mike Lee in FBI director. Don't go with Kash. He's a little bombastic. He's a little controversial. Don't go with him. Go with Mike Lee. This guy could have had the job. He could have fought Kash at every opportunity. And instead he's up there gushing about him. That's how good Kash did in the hearings, and I believe RFK and Tulsi did in the hearings as well. Despite all they went through, despite some dumb Republicans on each side grilling with each one, and then Democrats just going nuts on all of them. Guys, I'm telling you, this is so impressive, the way they're handling it. I've never, watching Hegseth, watching Bondi, watching Bessent, watching these three, I've never seen a more impressive cabinet. What Trump has put together here is historical. It's all time. These people are going to come in and they're going to just go nuts. Duffy, Transportation Secretary, amazing. It's just amazing stuff. All right, so that's it on the hearings. I just want to touch a couple quick things here before we go. Patrice writes, plane crash was a distraction from the hearings. Look over here, nothing. Maybe, I think there's more going on with the plane crash, but you might be right. That might have been a part of it for sure. All right, so Trump tonight, now that we're done with the hearings, he tweets this out. The idea the BRICS countries are trying to move away from the dollar while we stand by and watch is over. We're going to require commitment from these seemingly hostile countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the mighty US dollar, or they'll face 100% tariffs and should expect to say goodbye to selling into the wonderful US economy. They can go find another sucker nation. There's no chance BRICS will replace the US dollar in international trade or anywhere else, and any country tries to say hello to tariffs and goodbye to America. This is huge, guys. So, couple important things here. This is really good for America. This is Trump saying, we're still the biggest kid on the block. You want to play? You want to play a game? we'll take everything away from you. We will make it, you can't play. There's no ball field for you anymore. You want to mess with us? You're going to, you want to mess with the bull, you're going to get the horns. 100% tariffs. So this is really good for America, okay? It's going to keep us in, it's going to ruin our greatest possible competitor. It's not going to allow them time to build up into something big, because if they can't be trading with us in the meantime, there's no way they can outgrow us. They were going to need to build and grow off of us before they could truly compete with us down the road. That's just a fact. This takes that away. So that part's really good. The part that a lot of people aren't going to like is that the BRICS currency is what many people are waiting for to make a lot of money off of, especially with like XRP. This right now, this kills that argument with XRP. XRP, friends, I still think it can have value, especially if Japan uses it, especially if it goes in the US Reserve. That's all good stuff still. But if you thought XRP was going to become the BRICS currency for trading, that's over. That is now over. It's just not going to happen. The BRICS are not going to go to, they're not going to get their own currency. I guarantee you they will not after this. If they do, and XRP joins with them, Trump will ban XRP. So this is a big thing to see for a lot of people in this chat, and including myself, who've been trading XRP and been bullish on it. Some people extremely bullish on it. This is something to consider in looking at that. Short term, it won't hurt it, anything like that. But those big to the moon numbers are going to be, you're going to have to drastically rethink those, because this will kill the BRICS currency. So this is a really big deal for a lot of people in the crypto world, and obviously in just the global world overall. And then tonight, Trump announced this.
Subsidies that we're giving to Canada and Mexico in the form of deficits. And I'll be putting the tariff of 25% on Canada and separately 25% on Mexico. And we will really have to do that because we have very big deficits with those countries. Those tariffs may or may not rise with time.
Mr. President, part of that?
Subsidies that we're giving to Canada and to Mexico in the form of deficits. And I'll be
Sorry, I forget. I didn't turn my mic on. This officially now is the beginning of the trade war. Trump has just announced it. So we're going to eventually get some tariffs on like all kinds of stuff because he wants to replace the income tax. All right, so eventually get that. But in the meantime, it's going to be these large tariffs. It's for the trade war. Okay, so he's going to be Canada, Mexico, getting them in line with what we want. He's going to just destroy the BRICS, their ability to rise up and challenge us. He just smacked that in the face. We're going to have a completely different global order here in 4 years, folks. It's just going to be completely different because we're now in the driver's seat again with everything. We're going to prosper, and then what's going to happen, Trump's going to leave all these deals in place that are going to keep prospering the nation, but also allow everybody else to just do their own thing. And it's going to be like, when you have a bad relationship with people and they're bringing you down and they're also stuck in the rut because you're enabling them. Well, what'll eventually happen is this will just be good for everybody. It'll eventually be good for everybody because right now they're all just sucking off the teat of big US. They are. And that's how they're keeping it up. But that's going to go away. That's going to go away. And as that goes away, they're going to be forced to fix themselves. And this is going to lead to revolution, maybe not violent, but definitely politically in many countries. They're going to have to reform. This is just going to make the world overall better. It really will. As we fix ourselves and stop enabling all them to make stupid decisions, Everything's just going to get, they're all going to have to rise up and over time. And it's just going to be an amazing thing to see. But I really think that just destroyed the whole BRICS thing. I really do. And so that's awesome. But as far as the XRP thing, listen, I know all your guys' stuff. I get it. I know the bullish case for XRP, and I know it's strong. I do. You don't have to tell me again, okay? But I also, I'm trying to find where I see the major reasons it'll be as huge as some people are believing. If that $3,000, whatever, I'm not going to go too far into it tonight, but I do think this BRICS thing is going to affect it. So that's it. But that's not per Trump, Cindy. That's not official. I'm sorry. There are people telling people it's official, but it's not. It's not official. Nothing's official yet until it's signed and done. Okay. So just be careful when you say stuff like that's official, because it's not. It's possible, and the guy has met with Trump, but I have not seen an official statement from Trump on that. It's not official yet. So we got to be careful. We got to be careful. Alan says, here's a problem with BRICS. I believe China has more physical gold. And they might, but that's not going to change anything, Alan. It's really not going to matter, because China, even if they have more gold, they are completely reliant on export. They don't have an economy that thrives without export. And so if we tariff them, we will always be in charge of them. We will always have more money because of, our economy is just better built, because we're a free economy. They will never be able to catch us in their economy because of the way they are. And we also, even though their country is massive, we have more natural resources than they do. So does Russia. So China is just, their main resource is people. And they're just never going to be able to do that. No, Cindy, XRP currently doesn't have anything to do with BRICS. But a lot of people's thesis on why it will go to the moon, huge, huge numbers, is because it was going to be the main, goes all the way back to Lou versus Wall Street. One of the main reasons was XRP was going to be so big is because the BRICS currency was going to exclusively use XRP to transact. That's just one of the main reasons people got so excited about XRP in the beginning. Not saying it's still, but the Elon talking XRP thing is also not true. He hasn't talked about it in a long time, and a lot of the speculation on it has already been overturned. If you can show me statements by Elon in the recent weeks, recent months that are bullish on XRP, I'll listen. But right now, it's just rumors. It's just rumors. But again, just like RFK, if you can show me, I'll believe you. All right, finally, on the crash, a lot of people are still figuring out what's going to happen here. And yeah, again, guys, the gold is interesting, but it doesn't ultimately matter. It just doesn't ultimately matter. It doesn't make them richer than us. They just don't have what we have when it comes to resources, when it comes to ability, the infrastructure of our economy. Russia and China, they could have twice as much gold as us. It's just not gonna matter. As long as we have the most powerful military, we have more oil, all that. Russia has more oil actually, but they don't have a way to get it all the way we do. So it doesn't matter. The whole Russia, the gold thing doesn't matter. It really doesn't. We have more than enough gold to compete. That's all that matters. All right. So Trump, though, comes out and says this, and a lot of people are mad about it, but I actually think it's correct. What'd Matt Kors say? What are you laughing at? I don't even see his thing. Anyways, all right.
Today blamed the diversity elements, but then told us that you weren't sure that the controllers made any mistake. You then said perhaps the helicopter pilots were the ones who made the mistake.
It's all under investigation.
I understand that. That's why I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't. we want brilliant people doing this. This is a major chess game at the highest level. When you have 60 planes coming in during a short period of time, and they're all coming in different directions, and you're dealing with very high-level computer work and very complex computers. And one of the other things I will tell you is that the systems that were built, I was going to rebuild the entire system, and then we had an election that didn't turn out the way it should have. But
Today,
So
blame the diversity.
it's interesting Trump's talking about about this. It makes me think that maybe if there was a lot of craziness going on, it's really interesting. I don't think Trump's deflecting here. I think maybe this was. Well, actually, I'll be honest. I don't know what to think. But I had somebody reach out to me and say, I can't believe Trump's politicizing this with the DEI stuff. This is a person who is, at best, a ambivalent Trump person. Never liked him before. And I told him, I said, you don't understand. Trump talking like this is why we love him, because it's common sense. We hate DEI. We believe that this is actually possible. We don't think this is political. We don't. We think this is bringing back what we need in America. And so Trump calling it could be a DEI thing, whatever. The systems were messed up. This is the kind of stuff Democrats are going to keep using, but it's important for us to know why we're okay with it. Okay, and that's as far as the plane crash is concerned, I think a lot more is going to be coming out. I think it is possible it was on purpose, but I also think it's possible it was just gross negligence or stupidity. We'll find out. We're going to keep watching. But anyways, I don't have much else to say about the plane crash, but I did want to share this statement because I thought it was important. Again, because this is the kind of stuff they'll use to attack Trump. I've already seen in my life. But this is where we double down and say, no, we like this. This is common sense. This is what we want to hear. Because at least our president's talking to us and speaking his mind. So anyways, good stuff. All right, let me see here. I'll answer a couple comments and then I'm going to go out because this is a long show tonight. It went an hour and a half. Please like, share, subscribe if you're new. I appreciate it. Please spread it, guys, if you will. I greatly appreciate it. Please consider supporting the channel if you would. I would greatly appreciate that as well. So I can keep making this stuff the way I do. $3 a month to be a member, and you get extra lives. We talked about crypto and stocks last night in our members live. It was a lot of fun. And you also get into the Discord chat, which is its own value on its own. Lots of really smart people in there talking trades and stuff all the time. But I don't know who Matt Kors is, so I missed the joke. Yeah, give me the info. If there's Elon stuff with XRP, I mean, I want to see it. But I looked at it the other day, and there was just nothing to what was going around. I know that China and Russia have tons of natural resources, but you guys, that doesn't matter overall unless they can weaponize it against us. We are so far ahead of Russia and China when it comes to technology, infrastructure, and ability to do stuff because of the way our government runs. We just are. Think about Russia, how far back they are. First of all, we have 3 times the people they have. And they just lost a bunch of their best in this war for Ukraine, maybe up to 500,000. Russia is nowhere close to being anywhere close to being able to compete with us on the world stage, especially not economically or militarily. China has 1.5 billion people. Most of them are impoverished. Their system keeps them all low. They can make as a whole nation. They can do, the only way they've been able to get their economy up as high as it is to create a fake real estate bubble that's the biggest in world history and is currently collapsing. Their economy is currently collapsing. Everything was fake. So how are they going to compete with us? They don't have nearly the infrastructure we have. Their people are slaves, so they can't innovate the way we do. And their military is not scary for us. We are way too far away, and we're at least a generation ahead of them in technology. It's just America is great for a reason, guys, and freedom is the reason. Freedom, and I truly believe, are the faith we were built on. I know we've strayed far from that in a lot of ways. I do. But, you know, as long as there's more righteous people than not, God is blessing our nation. And I fully believe we're still there. So I just, it's incredible. But there's no reason we're not going to be the head of the nation for a very long time. So, yeah, I just typed on Elon XRP and I'm not finding anything recently. But there's one person who posted that he deleted a tweet about buying XRP. That's it. So, anyways, no one's still talking about NGOs, says Alan Krantz. I disagree with you. I just saw, who was it the other day? When Trump did the federal ban, Alan, there's a lot of people talking about NGOs. His press secretary was talking about NGOs. The NGOs are going to get dealt with. That's the entire reason for that federal funding ban, was to deal with the NGOs. It's happening. It's happening. They might not talk about it as publicly because people don't want to hear that the Catholic, you know, or Baptist church is trafficking children, or the Red Cross, but it's going to come out eventually, but they might not do it as publicly. The Discord link said invalid invite. Okay, I'll repost a new Discord invite in the members. In fact, I'm going to do it right now so I don't forget. So any members who want to join the Discord, make sure you catch this post I'm about to put up, okay? I want to make sure everybody can get in. Matt was one of the first Moon Squad AMC pumpers, and he poofed away. Oh, okay, got it. He's agreeing with me. On what, Nick? I must have missed your first comment. I agree, we definitely have more in common with Russia than not. Yeah, I agree with you. Nick says, I visited Russia and China. I've seen the new bridges and highway they built. Well, they build amazing stuff. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. It's not but you, just because they built something doesn't mean, just because they've been building better than us. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to figure something out here. I think that's the right link. This thing gets confusing to me sometimes, sorry. I'm doing it from a desktop. I usually do it from the phone. Anyways, just because they've been building amazing things, that just shows you that you can get people together and force them to build something, or put a bunch of money into building a couple things. The problem is they've overextended themselves. They don't have, so a real economy, you know, the money keeps cycling around. That's not what China's been doing. China's been going into deep, deep debt to build. Russia's a little different, but China has been going into crazy debt, and they thought they could do it forever because they control all the banks and everything, but it's just, it's starting to fall apart. So they might have a lot of beautiful architecture, but it won't matter when nobody can eat. That's what's going on in China right now. Why am I having such a problem with this? This is not, sorry guys. I promise I'm gonna get this done. Here we are. All right, hopefully this works. All right, I'm posting it right now. You guys see if this works for you. What? That's not what I wanted. What? Oh man, I'm sorry guys. This is just not working. I know, this is great content, right? Okay, I'll just get it up as soon as I'm done. Let's see. XRP, Ripple. Yes, Ripple is the company that made XRP. They're not the same though. So they built a few cities where buildings are falling apart. Yes, they did. Yeah. California have a high-speed train that goes nowhere. That's true. Exactly. So anyways, I'm very bullish on crypto, and I said I'm even bullish on XRP. I am. I'm just not. I don't believe in the. Well, let me say this. I'm having trouble believing in the crazy big numbers people have been talking about. I definitely believe it's a great trade. It's great to accumulate right now, and it's going to be, I don't know, maybe 100, maybe a couple $100 in a few years. I could see that. But there's people who are saying the XRP is going to be like 3,000, 5,000, maybe $100,000. I just don't see it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I also have issues with the fact that the company holds like half of it, Ripple. So I don't know. It's just not decentralized enough for me. But we'll see. I hear the other case as well. I really do. Yeah, it's not my computer that's the issue. It's this link I'm trying to get. I know my computer better than my kids. My kids don't use desktops. You kidding? These are modern kids. They know phones, and well, actually, my kids don't really know phones much because they don't have them, except for my oldest. They know tablets. That's what they know. Ripple didn't make XRP. See, I have lots to learn. I thought Ripple owned XRP, but thanks, you guys. See, I'm learning. There's a lot I knew about Ripple, and there's a lot I don't know. And that's probably why I'm not as confident with you guys. I'm just starting to get more into crypto, and that's why I'm going to have my buddy on. But I do know that Ripple's not fully decentralized, and I do know that the company holds a whole bunch of it, and that is concerning to me. I'll just be honest. And I also know one of the big bull things for Ripple was the BRICS currency, and now that's not happening. So those are all things that I just have my concerns about. But it doesn't matter, because if you guys feel confident about it, you do it. I don't have financial advice. I have opinions, and my opinions might not be as educated as yours, and that's good for you. You know, I have my other things I love. But anyways, okay, I'm tired. It's 1 hour and 40. This is a very long live for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please, again, consider supporting the channel as a member. It just really helps me out. I make a lot of content for you guys, and I just, yeah, I appreciate all the support. Makes it so I can keep showing up as much as I can. So, but God bless you guys. I'm always open to learning from you. Send me stuff. Hit me up on X. DM me. Tag me and stuff. I love to see what you guys find. And I'm always learning as well. So Brett says, I was making a joke about Ripple because Kamala drinks Ripple like it's going out of style. Sanford and Son champagne, Ripple champagne. Ripple. I like that. I like that. All right. You guys have a great night. And I'll probably not see you tomorrow. We'll see. But have a great weekend if I don't. Take care. Bye-bye.